Scary shit.
Scary shit.
Short story shit.
Short story shit.
Body horror shit.
Body horror shit.
I was on the table, just a regular fold-out table, in the basement, in the friend of a friend of a friend. Even lying down, my head was spinning. Meg handed me another shot, laughing. I can't believe you're doing this. I threw back the burning bottom shelf vodka with a squinted face. Its air creeped into my nose and down my throat. This was stupid. That was precisely what made it great. I took off my shirt and motioned, right here, pointing to my upper shoulder. Give me like an eagle right here. The scratcher loaded needles into her tattoo machine. I swear it looked homemade. Watching her set the voltage, my blurry eyes attempted to focus on the ink she had on herself, but I couldn't really make much of anything out. Too dizzy. The vibration of the needle made a low hum that penetrated the party conversation. People turned to watch, but she was focused on the sound, adjusting settings. Hey, wasn't she like supposed to wear gloves or something? I bit my tongue to hide the nerves. This would be my first. I think Meg was impressed. The scratcher primed my skin, razoring off any hair there, getting right into it, I see. She didn't seem much for conversation. The only thing she said was, "You ready?" I grabbed Meg's hand. Ready. The hum began again, and with it, pain. It felt like a cat dragging its claws across my skin. I squeezed Meg's hand. She squeezed back. "Make it good," I threw out jokingly. The scratcher didn't seem to react. She only continued jackhammering my skin. It wasn't long before my teeth were clenching. Was it supposed to hurt this much? Meg commented, "Hey, you doing okay?" I was confused. I had thought the alcohol for sure would have dimmed the sharpness, but only 2 minutes in, it was already incredibly intense. But I had to put on a good face. Everyone was watching. I'm not a pussy. Yeah, never better. I kept my fidgeting to a minimum. Staring at the ceiling, my eyes started to water. I blinked it back, bit my cheek. Meg said something, I wasn't sure what. The scratcher dug away at me. Wow, that was a lot of blood. Time passed slowly, and Meg let go of my hand. I think she went to go get a drink, but I wasn't paying attention. My concentration was entirely geared towards not whimpering, not giving in. I'm sure my knuckles were white, but after a while, Meg didn't return. Or maybe I just didn't see her come back. The room was starting to turn real dark. My headiness returned full throttle. Before I knew it, everything was black. I don't remember the rest. When I woke up, it was morning. I was still on the table, still a little drunk. My head swam, putting pieces back together. It took a minute before I remembered why I was here. Then I looked to my shoulder. A fucking shitty eagle was flying on my deltoid. Even seeing it from upside down, even tipsy, it looked so bad. What a waste of $50. But then I noticed something else. Some weird-ass lettering. Was it Japanese? Korean? I don't know these things. But some weird-ass lettering trailed down my arm with a jacked-up circle at the top. I suddenly became very sober. What the shit was this? I needed to find a mirror. Sitting up and steadying myself, I wondered, wait, where was everyone? Where was, what's her name? Meg? I checked my phone. Sure enough, I still had her text. Hey, this is Meg, smiley face. And mine, Josh, smiley face. Sent 2:31 a.m. Okay, I still have a way of finding out what happened last night. Maybe I could... And then my train of thought stopped cold in its tracks. A burning pain skated across my tattoos. Oh my God, it hurt so much. Touching it made it worse. I got up. I had to find a bathroom and a mirror. The scratcher girl was, of course, nowhere to be found. Clumsily flailing into a restroom, I turned to see my wounds. They had started bleeding. Not as much as the eagle, but the rest was trickling down. Washing it off, it was hard to catch a good look at the lettering as the blood almost immediately covered it back up. It was now I started to panic a little. Bandages, rubbing alcohol, I needed them fast. Scouring underneath the sink cabinets and behind the mirror, I found some Neosporin and, disappointingly, small Band-Aids with a tacky print. Hello Kitty. Finding a towel instead, I threw it on top of my injuries, red and black, spotted through it. It's fine, I told myself. I needed to get home. Chelsea was going to be so mad. Oh wait, no she wasn't. I sighed and wrapped the towel around my arm, keeping the Neosporin. Finally, I found others in the house, mostly passed out on couches and in someone else's bed, but no Meg, and it was 9:47 a.m. I texted her, irritated. Bitch really just left me there on the table? Hey, where did you go last night? No reply. I guess she was still asleep. Maybe she would be until noon. I wondered, should I go to the emergency room? My stockpile of medical bills I remembered at home convinced me otherwise. Damn it, fine. Whatever. It'll scab up. The scratcher just went in real deep, and then when I sat up, it just opened up everything and bled again, because that's how this works, right? I was safe enough to drive home. By the time I got back to the apartment, the blood finally stopped flowing, but the burning stuck around. None of my roommates were around, thank God. I peeled back the drenched towel and threw it away. Splotches of fresh and dried blood were scattered all over my arm. Finally, I got a good view of it in the mirror. Stupid eagle. Anyway, the handwriting was terrible and reflected opposite in the mirror. It clearly was not in English. The longer I looked, the angrier I got. I raged in a cold shower, careful of my arm. The water washed down and a cooling sensation. Who the hell does that? I ranted to myself. Who the hell just keeps tattooing after someone has passed out and then keeps drawing whatever the hell they feel like? The hangover kicked in. I drank a sip from the shower head, having it rain on my tongue. Why didn't no one stop her? Fuck! And a small stroke of luck in all of this, where that my spare bandages were still in the closet. After taking some pictures of the damage, I disinfected it and wrapped up everything snug. In the kitchen, I mixed V8 and vodka for a Bloody Mary, ever cursing to myself. Finally, Meg got back to me. Aw, miss me? My fingers never typed so fast. Fucking passed out on the table. You didn't come back at all? Oh, sorry. I got caught up with some friends. Friends, sure. It was a moment before she replied. Are you okay? I replied with the pictures I took, saying, does it look like I'm okay? Oh my God, she messaged again. What the hell is that? Like, I know? Did you see the tattooer leave? Did you know who it was? I don't. I'm sorry, but I can ask around. That shit is so fucked. You know, if you had come back, this wouldn't have happened. Vitriol dripped from my keyboard. Another pause. Okay, and how was I supposed to know it would? I was drunk on my ass anyways. I wasn't the one who agreed to get attacked in a basement. Fuck you, man. I paused and then continued. If you find out anything, just let me know. She didn't reply. I poured myself another bloody. Shit, I forgot about work. But my arm still had an edge to it whenever I moved. It felt like a sunburn, but like a million times worse. Could I call out? It was Saturday, so they were probably swamped. I did need the money, but a couple more hours struggling decided it for me. There was no way I could work. I told them I was sick, got yelled at a little bit, and then took a nap. Well, I tried to. After downing aspirin, blanketing my arm in ice packs, fan on full blast, I lied there in agony. Googling furiously, I tried to find out if this was by any chance normal. Of course, it wasn't. Everything recommended me seeing a doctor. I threw my phone off the bed. Finally, around evening time, my discomfort began to ease up. By then, I was so hungry, but I knew I had to face my roommates. This was the last thing I needed right now, them joking me about this shit. But I also reasoned that there was no way that I was going to hide it from them forever. After all, tattoos forever. Hopefully someday I would get it lasered off. Covered. What happened? Fucking Jerry drew out, seeing my arm. Did you fall out of a building again? Mark chimed in. I wanted so bad to play it off, but I knew them. They were insatiable. Trying to brush it off would only make it worse. So I tried to play it cool, tried to joke around, though my usual spark wasn't in it. I told them what happened and showed them the pictures. Holy fuck, what is that? Mark reacted. Jerry just looked stunned. I forced a laugh. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? You should really get that checked out, man. Homebrew? Man, that's a one-way for, I don't know, tetanus? I waved it off. No, it's fine, really. I've had worse. Don't we know it? And they laughed. I tried to join in. I tried. As much as I hated it, I couldn't afford to miss 2 days of work. Really, I couldn't afford to lose any days, but whatever. What's done is done. I wore a long-sleeve shirt despite the heat outside, and I clocked in. It was the most miserable shift of my life. Running food to tables felt like needles on my arm all over again. Management noticed, but I didn't give them the full story. Just saying I was still recovering from yesterday. It wasn't long before the bandages came undone into the first hour, so I had to hide to remove them. If I wasn't going crazy, it looked like the tattoos had moved. But I was just in a hurry, and I didn't have enough time to stare. Luckily, I wasn't bleeding anymore, at least. I pulled my sleeve back up and finished my work. After a couple of days, I didn't need the bandages anymore, but it was now that the scabbing phase was in full effect. Lord, it wasn't almost worse than the burning. In a twist of logic, I figured I wasn't wanting to keep those tattoos anyway, so it didn't matter if they didn't heal perfectly. I lathered them in lotion more than the recommended amount and let myself scratch the itch. My skin flaked off like grating cheese. So nasty. But it made me feel a lot better, at least at first. The irritation steadily grew worse, however, and I scratched too hard once when I was working on my gen ed homework. A little yelp escaped my lips, but no one saw that. A new trickle of blood dripped down into my leg. I cussed in anger. Returning to the restroom for a new bandage, I took another look at the ink. If I wasn't imagining things, had the text changed? I never really could read it to begin with, but I half remember, like, the symbols looking different. Another spurt of rage shot through me. I texted Meg, "Did you ever find out anything?" It wasn't until another hour that she responded. "No, sorry." A beat later, she texted, "How is it?" "Kinda bad," I messaged, "but not the worst." And then I spotted the white puss. It was oozing from underneath the wrapping. I sighed. It was fine. It's just my body's defense mechanism. I'm fine. I'm not fine. I'm lying on my bed now in complete misery. I feel feverish, trembling, thirsty, and not wanting to drink, needing to puke, but with nothing in my stomach. I had cut off all the lights before lying down. The light hurts too much. But despite downing every substance of painkiller and fever destroyer known to man, nothing has helped. I should probably call for help, but even thinking about it feels like a monumental task. It's taking up all of my energy just to cope. I cough a little bit. Unable to get comfortable, I toss and I turn. Haphazardly, I scratch my arm again. And something is different this time. Is there something under my skin? Running my hand over the tattoos, though they'd always felt bumpy from where the skin rose and scarred up, they had never had this mass beneath it. It was where the shitty circle was on my shoulder, below the shitty eagle. I sit up, terrified. The bulge is getting bigger. I say to myself, what the hell? And it's starting to hurt. It's starting to burn. Something was pushing out of my skin. It stretched the layers out farther and farther than they were meant for. And I started to scream, but it was caught in my chest. A hand emerges from underneath, cutting my arm open, and blood splatters everywhere. The hand extends itself as an arm of its own appears. I go to scream, and the hand whips over my mouth until all that escapes is a muffled yell. I'm near hyperventilating through my nostrils, my eyes transfixed on the thing coming out. I start to spill tears. It hurts so much, and I can't pull it off. And my arm splits down to my hand and onto my neck, and another hand emerges and pushes me down, pushing itself up and out of me. I can't see it from here. I'm losing consciousness, and the pain is too much. It's now in my head. I hear this phrase. It's definitely not English, but somehow I understand it anyway. Thanks for all the blood. And I'm lost to the dark.
Okay.
I guess I should have said Happy Halloween first. So.